not forget.
That's right.
Yeah, now you got a whole new world there, don't you?
Yeah.
Ready to go? Okay, here we go. Nancy, tell me about Alan the man.
Strong, dedicated, very faithful to his friends, loyal, and gutsy.
Would you call him a hero?
Well, I didn't know I married a hero until the museum came to be.
Now, he had a passion about that plane right behind you. We know what he did, but had it not been for him, chances are that would not be sitting there in Evansville, where it rightfully belongs. That had to be an incredible passion of Alan's.
For a long time, he probably never thought about it. And then somehow, someone contacted him about being a P-47 pilot, and then things kind of evolved from there. Even when he went to Air Corps reunions, he was very quiet about his work. I got information about him from many of the other guys that he was in the 57 Fighter Group. But once the word about the plane started germinating with him, then more people got on board. They kept looking and looking, and when the news came out that there was one in Lone Star, Texas, the man was out here at 5:30 in the morning ready to go with you to find the plane.
Often, true heroes are those who don't want to be called heroes. Now,
Right.
Alan shunned the spotlight. I often remember he would tell me, "It's not about me, Dad." Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, two gentlemen came to the house about the honor flight, and he kept saying, no, I don't need to go. There's plenty of other guys that are more deserving, and I've already been there. I don't need to go again. And finally the guy said, well, your wife will find you a sponsor, I'll find you a sponsor, and I think it would be well worth your time to go. So then he decided that he would go, but only after they pushed.
The one thing he wanted his legacy to underline was that he was so interested in what young people knew about our country. And he felt that he could see the disconnection sometimes with history, with young people, maybe the last 2 or 3 generations. Why did he feel that way, and what did he want to change? I know he went to a lot of the schools, and
Right.
tell me about that.
Well, I remember Donna Bone and Dr. Mark Browning telling me they had to sit down with him, ask him some questions on what he did in World War II, and kind of urge him to start talking about it, because they wanted him to participate in going to the high schools. So once they did that, it just triggered more memories, and he could talk to kids. The thing that he said to them is, I don't have anything to talk about.
Really?
So that's what he said, and then they kept practicing with him and talking to him, and then all of a sudden he was in front of classrooms.
How did the students react to him?
They really did listen. Donna Bone made it a point to share the spotlight of what she knew about Evansville. Then they would focus on what his role was when he flew the plane. He came home one time and said, a young girl got me after class and said, I really don't know how you feel about killing people. And then he said to her, well, it was either me or the other side. And that kind of relieved her upsetness about the killing and the warfare and the whole thing about World War II. That really did affect him.
Did he ever cease to amaze you, though, about all these stories? I mean, I learned some stories about Alan Sanderson within 2 weeks before he passed.
Mhm.
But once he did open up, and it wasn't necessarily him being in the spotlight, just the stories that he shared, 118 missions in that plane.
In that plane as one person. There was nobody else in there but him. I always thought there was a gunner in the back. And then one day we were talking and he said, oh, no, there was nobody else but me. And then this idea of not having any instruments, that just flabbergasted me. And I said, well, how did you know where you were going? Well, we would have a briefing in the morning, and then I had this paper on my lap, and I'm thinking, and these guys are out there shooting at you, and you're looking down to see where the next target is? And he said, well, you'd shoot anything that would move. So that was on the other side.
I know you must feel very fortunate, all of the close calls that he had. But the other thing, though, is even outside of what we have talked about, he never did stop caring about everyday people. Fair statement?
It's true. And one of the things I found, this doesn't have anything to do with the war, but as I was going through papers, I knew that he went to banking school for 3 summers in Colorado. And then I found pictures of his classmates, which were his age, 30s and 40s, I guess. And in each picture, it was for the 3 years, he ended up being the class president. And I found the day they graduated, what he spoke to the people. And he always talked about going out there to school, but I never knew he was the class president. So that's just one more thing. And I didn't know so many people at Thrift loved him.
One last thought here. I often talk to people I've lost. Sometimes before I go to bed, sometimes I think about, I wonder what my dad would think about this. What do you talk to Alan about now? What do you say to him?
Help me with my knee. I just had knee surgery. Teach me what I need to know next.
You can't have a better teacher than him.
Right.
Can we get you guys to sit there just for 2 more minutes?
Yes. he's gonna
Get a couple of
one.
shots.
And I tell you what, if you could do, it's called, forgive me, it's called just the, what do they call the shot where the the subject of the interview, you're just getting a kind of a shot,
Just a wide shot.
a wide shot. She can be either staring at the camera, whatever, looking down, whatever. It's not a cutaway necessarily. It's
Right.
just a,
Almost like an intro shot for
yeah,
it.
yeah. And then we'll get shots of her in there.
Could you take out the tears?
And that's the best part.